I think I got stood up. Just practice that feeling of falling forward.
Good morning, Trainiacs. As you can tell by my 80s high school wrestling uniform, I'm going out for a morning ride. Starting around middle to end of May, we've got a Tuesday and Thursday morning road ride group, and it is awesome. We get up to like 29. I think last year we had, at the peak, 32 people join, and there's a really fast group of dudes that are not the high performance people in the province. Those are kids that are like 19 to 23-ish. Basically the age group guys that are really talented athletes that want to get out there and work themselves, challenge themselves a few times a week. And they challenge the bejesus out of me. We're not doing that group just yet because it's still -1 this morning. So it's just Coach Pat and one select cold weather badass and I. Working to figure out how I get the GoPro on the road bike. That's as tight as she's getting this morning. All right, brace yourselves. We're gonna see how stable you are. You're not bad. These cold weather neoprene toe covers, like $6 on Alibaba. Haven't failed me yet.
I'm a little late, so that either means that they bailed and I have a really hard ride to do to catch up, or they ain't coming. My money's on hard ride to catch up. This here is the halfway point. I really would have passed them by now if they had actually come out. I think I got stood up. I'm confused. These are not dudes that would stand up a good ride. Good, relatively speaking. It's -1 and I can't feel my fingertip. I'm gonna ride back and see if I can meet a gang for coffee. I'm so confused about this. And at the office today, I want to go over a running technique. This whole time I've been like not really addressing running technique, and there was something that I found like a bunch of years ago that was like whoosh, mind-blowing, total change. I found some friends.
Big riding, and then when my son came,
We're getting the band back together. Yes!
You might not know this, but on the back of my phone, occasionally you'll see a white sticker that says post. That's my social media ad agency, and right now I'm going to do a talk to a group of local business owners about social media in Winnipeg. This is the Winnipeg Squash and Racket Club, home of squash, rackets, and very fancy pants business people who don't wear triathlon jackets to a meeting. I wear triathlon jackets to a meeting. Sorry, not a member. I don't know if they're gonna let me take you in there. Okay, so far they haven't kicked me out. I gotta get my presentation all queued up. When you buy a new MacBook, you gotta buy a whole bunch of cables just to operate. I'm ready to go. When I give presentations like this, I like to make it as tactical as possible. Like, one thing that really bugs me when I go to a presentation is like when they just talk about motivating people to do something, but not actually giving how to do it. So in this case, there are only about 5 or 6 business owners in there. So I actually went through every single one of their businesses, audited their social media accounts, and what we're gonna do in there after giving them just a general state of the union on social media is I'm gonna talk about what they could do. Like, here is something you could do on social. And hopefully I don't get kicked out of the room for telling them what to do. Presentation done. Successfully did not get kicked out, and they tried to give me a gift basket that I thanked them very much for, but could not bring back because I ride a bicycle. He's up the elevator, he's down the elevator. He's up the elevator, he's down the elevator. This time, going for a run. So what I'm gonna run you through here is called the chi running technique. Who this is for is anyone that's looking to have a more smooth running stride, if you feel like your joints are really beat up and your muscles are really beat up after a run, could be because you're landing really hard and you're putting a lot of pressure on your body. And there's always this old adage that you land on your heel with this big built up heel that is gonna cushion you. But there's a better way to run. With this running style, it's like falling forward with style and strides in a race. Well, speaking of awesome runners, we have 2 Manitoba Marathon champions right behind me here. Hey gang! Nicole Walker, my pal from Campeche, either husband or brother-in-law. They're twins, so I don't know. So the whole purpose of this running stride is to get your body moving forward smoother and having less ground contact time that slows you down. You want your body moving forward past your center of gravity so that instead of coming down on your center of gravity and then having to push yourself forward to get over it, you're kind of just moving forward with the center of gravity and having little hops. I've taught somewhere around 3 or 4 people this method of running. I learned it about 6 years ago and a lot of my injuries went away. Here's how you do it in 3 simple steps. The first step is to get used to bouncing on the balls of your foot, the front of your foot, because that's where you want to land. With this drill, just going like this, and you're coming up and down on the balls of your feet and just getting used to that motion of landing on the front of your foot, which makes sense because if you're jumping up and down, you don't want to land really hard on your heel, just like you shouldn't want to land really hard on your heel when you're running. The next drill is to have that same feeling where you're bouncing up and down on the front of your foot, and then you add little bum kicks. If you notice, I'm on the front of my foot, coming up and down on the ball of that foot. I'm gonna add one additional step as like a 2B step. Picture yourself just falling forward. Just practice that feeling of falling forward and get used to it. And then what you do is you combine the butt kicks and the falling forward, and there's a running stride. So start with butt kicks and then start falling forward. Try to think of that as you're doing all of your runs, and just do repetitions of that 20, 30 times before you go for a run, and keep that in your mind as you're going. All right, we're gonna try to do this a little bit slower. Start with bounces and bum kicks, and start leaning forward, not bending like that, but leaning forward from your hips. So every single run that you do after that, try to think of that feeling of leaning forward from your hips, not bending forward and collapsing your hips and sticking your butt out in behind you, but think of like a nice straight board, leaning forward and your feet in behind you and landing with your foot right smack dab under the center of your body and landing on the middle or front of your foot, thereabouts. If you haven't done this before, fair warning, the first month, maybe 2 of trying this, your calves are gonna hate you. You're gonna think that you're gonna need to change shoes. You might to a more minimal or neutral shoe, but it's not necessary. You're gonna think that you're doing it wrong, but if the pain is in the muscles of your calves, this is actually a good thing. This means that you're stressing a muscle that is very stretchy and intended to absorb that load. And you know what? A lot of people who are staunch heel strikers are gonna go bonkers on me in the comments. But you know what? It worked for me. It helped me be injury-free and enjoy running a lot more. And when I first changed over to this, I could barely run for 10 kilometers. After this, I can run for 25. It took a lot of years to build up to that. That's it. That's for today. I'm gonna go for a run. Okay, I'm not actually going for a run because there's no way I'm leaving my camera here. I'm gonna drop off the camera, then go for a run. I'll see you, Trainiacs.